We are recording. Today is June 9th, 2024, and it is 10:49 a.m. and a Sunday. And we're going into a strategy session number 3 to answer specific questions that might be relevant to dead man mode and getting started. So Raven, please introduce to us your question in clarity so I can be able to answer and address it.
All right, my question is, as I will be likely on a plane when this starts, I haven't actually checked the exact time, but I believe that's going to coincide with my being on a plane. I will not be able to be there right at the beginning. So, how can I prepare, or what can I prepare to do, and how can I contribute to this if I'm joining a day or two later?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So all you would have to do is read the instructions that I prepared for you. And how you can contribute is if there is a specific group that is going to be starting late like you, which I do know there are people who are working the first day, for example. They won't be able to make it, but they have the weekend off. Is that your situation? Friday. It starts
Well,
on
yeah,
Friday.
but I'll be coming back from Vegas that day. So I will be in the air, so I'll be on probably later on Friday, but not.
Got it.
I forget what time my plane gets in, but
Yeah.
I won't be there when it
So
starts.
if people aren't able to start immediately, we will put together separate groups for those people who do start a little bit later. It's not guaranteed that you will have a party because it all depends on the availability of the people and the sense of urgency of getting started now, right? But it would be safer to get started with other people versus not. And so what we will do is we will set up A, B, C, D, E, F team, for example, and not only would these teams be teams that coincide with each other from the start that hop worlds, but we may have a dedicated G and K team to later start times as well. So those groups or parties can lead and work with each other. And so, how you can contribute is if you're the one who's doing the research and is being more prepared, or if you want to take on a form of any sort of leadership for that group role, and sort of calling out commands or whatever, um, basically reading off of the sheet. All you have to do, really, the whole team just has to correspond or coincide with working together toward accomplishing the goals on day one's instructions, which literally has photos included, and it's pretty much step by step. Like in some instances, you don't even need quest helper. That's how much step by step detail I've laid out. And so the reason why this is so detailed is because literally on day one, you don't have the same access to the Grand Exchange as you normally would because items are not coming into the game for a while. And you also have a limited number of coins that you can make from a level 3 scratch account. And you start off with 5,000 coins. So you really have to portion where you invest your money, where you invest your time, and how you upgrade your account as fast as possible during that time before somebody overturns and attacks you and makes it unfavorable for you for the start. So you have to make the best start possible. And so that's why it's all very constructed in a way that all you have to do is follow the instructions to stabilize yourself, to get the levels necessary to defend yourself, and then start making money. That's the whole goal of day one. And so if you can do that, then you're in a good place, and you would just need a group to be able to accompany you, if not somehow managing it alone because you are separated, because everybody's already done everything ahead of you, or some people are behind you. They won't really be able to assist you in the way that you would like based on the instructions, right? And so it's worth keeping that in
Right.
mind. We can assist you with something else, like if you need help after you die or something, maybe, but you know, that's the
I'm
competition.
wondering if people know in advance. Maybe this is too far in advance for people to know. Like set up a time when like some time, at this time or that time, if people could say what time they know they're going to start
Yeah.
right now or between now and when it starts, that people would know that there'd be a group that they could start with, they might feel more
Yep.
comfortable doing that. Some people might like, oh, okay, I'll join because I know I'm going to have a group. I'm not going to be able to be there on the opening, but I can still join with a group of people and follow the instructions. But then my second question is,
Great
are
suggestion.
you planning?
I will put that
Are
into the
you?
questionnaire. Well, it's actually already there, but it's like the question isn't when are you going to start? It's like, are you going to be able to start on the first day type of deal.
Oh,
So I will make it more specific, and that will assist in figuring out who you can work with. The only thing is, I have like 3 characters left to edit with. In other words, I have to backspace 5 to get 5 more to add. So I will have to figure out exactly how to word that appropriately.
right. And well, my other question was, so what happens if you start your strategy and then something goes
You start
wrong?
what?
You start, the first group is following the strategy, and I know you're working so hard. I've looked at it's very specific, it's very detailed. What if you find something that needs to change? How do you plan to? Is there going to be something like, here's a revision now? Everybody that's following, do instead of this step, do this step, just to highlight like what changes would be.
Yeah,
I know you said there's when we make
that's when
changes, it has.
critical thinking skills come into play, but because it's so autonomous, you don't need that until you need it. The reason why
Expect
it's
the
also
unexpected.
constructed in this way is because me personally, I'm going to be running 5 accounts at once, trying to click on all of them, and one of them, if not 2, are going to be running in different directions, and I have to think for myself. I really, 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 really am not going to be able to think for other people if they're asking me 100 questions. They need to figure their shit
Oh
out.
no,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh
And
no,
so and
no,
so
no, no.
if so if
I got
somebody
that.
asks me at that point, where do I go here because I don't have an amulet that teleports me, you walk. For example, you walk from this city and you do have a teleport here and you can go and take this boat and then go over here. Right? That's the closest you can get. And so things like that will be much easier to ask because it's already pre-programmed for me repping the strategy. And also, if people need to, then they just critically think because they already have everything put together. All they need to do is see and read between the lines. That's when your own thinking comes into play. So it shouldn't be
Yeah,
very hard.
I was more. Yeah, I was more thinking about something if and not having people asking you questions, but just having a place of highlighting any issues that were happening. So if not
Sure.
just you, but if everybody could have a place to post in the Discord, hey, when we did this, here's a little bit of extra information just to help the people who come
Cool.
afterwards,
Yeah, we love feedback.
Yeah,
especially if that.
here we just ran through Witch's house and we all noticed there's an issue here, so everybody doing it after,
Yeah.
say that first group can kind of, yeah.
That'll be in the Dead Mem
Yeah,
channel, I'm
and
sure, where that
yeah,
chat will
and
take place.
then right, and then people aren't bothering you because I know you're not going to have time to be answering everybody's questions, and it'll just
And,
be good sort of debrief as we all go through.
Can you repeat that last
and
part?
well,
Be
can
good
that,
to what?
sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it's a good debrief as it goes, because for next year maybe there'll be a change, right? It's just good to remember all those details
Sure.
as it goes through to potentially improve.
Right. Most definitely. Heck, I don't even know. I don't even have a second monitor yet. I don't even know if I can run 5 accounts. but but I'm getting
Oh,
one,
you
so we'll
can.
see.
I got 1, 2, 3. I got 6 going right now.
Okay, cool. Did you have something to
Yep.
say, Risk? Or
Um,
thanks, Raven.
yeah. So what Raven was just saying,
Is it a question or an
yeah.
information?
Will that be like how she was saying that we um, need kind of a platform or an area where we can reach out to each
Right.
other and let everybody know coming right after us? Can that be separate from like the main Dead Man Mode chat? So can you set up like separate kind of chats within like a chat, if you know what I mean?
So currently there is a DMM sign up channel
Yeah.
and there is a dead man channel. The
Mhm.
DMM sign up is only meant for indicating the details upon what is the information necessary for me to know to organize things, pretty much. And
Okay.
the DMM, the dead man chat, is dedicated toward when you're actually signed up, and we're working on executing that. This is where we talk.
So that's where everyone will be talking once we start and everyone's going. It's all of that chat, all
Yeah,
of
but
that
we're gonna
dialogue
be
is going to
using
be
voice
bunched
though.
into one.
We're gonna be using voice. You understand?
Yeah, but we
And we'll
can't have
probably have
everyone's
multiple
voice
rooms for
going.
teams.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So
So when we
you
get
can
when
other
we'll
than
for the
voice, you
first
can have
day, it will primarily be me talking. For the following
yes.
days, we will probably have people split out into specialized groups, unless if we all want to stay in one voice room. But the voice chats will be easier to delegate. However, the chat channel will be used, I don't know to what degree, but I don't expect it to be so
Okay.
enormous that it's overwhelming that you can't find things. You know, I think the feedback, if it goes in
With the
there,
chat.
the problem is
With,
if I create a whole new dedicated channel, it's separate from all of that dead man channel, and it won't be historically relevant unless if I literally have people look at that specific channel, in which case it creates
it,
so many things that just why make it more complex when
you
it's like
can't
this is
branch
dedicated.
off like a within that main Deadman mode channel. You can't have like a little sub channel
You can do
or
threads,
multiple little sub channel. Yeah, okay,
but
so
what you would
separate.
do is basically reply to someone and then it comes into a separate conversation. And I've never used threads in Discord, so I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know if other people can view that
Okay.
conversation or if it's only
Maybe
the
we can
people who
try.
enter into that. Sure, we can
Maybe
try.
try sending me a thread or something, and we can try that. Cause then,
Sure.
majority, it's like 96% of all the people that are gonna be
Risk. Type inside
in
of
the
main chat.
Discord chat.
Type inside of main chat.
You want me to type?
Yeah, type inside of main
Okay.
chat.
All right.
Main chat, not me. Don't DM
Main
me.
chat. I'm new to this shit. What's the main chat?
It's under the OSRS category, underneath the voice channels. I'll tag you.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not seeing it.
There. You should have a little notification highlight somewhere there.
Oh, events, main chat. Okay. So you want me to type in here?
Yeah. And enter.
Yep.
Okay. So now you see this little, when you hover over it, it says create thread, this little spool of thread, literally. Create thread.
Yes.
Talkie talkie.
Okay.
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 So now, Raven, can you join the main chat and take a look? Fortunately, we have the perfect number of people for this, so.
Yeah, I'm actually there. I was watching to see what you're doing.
Can you physically see the thread that I created off of Risky's message? Testing, testing.
Yep, I'm looking right at it.
Can you enter it and talk in it? I'd like
Yeah,
to
I
see you
don't
type.
see a section to specifically type within that thread. It's just the regular message text box.
Click the link that is embedded there. It says two
Oh,
messages.
two message. Okay, I see. Wow.
Yeah. If you open it up, then it starts a whole new thing.
So what
Yeah, I
we can
see.
do is have a very specific subject that becomes a thread that gains feedback on it.
Well, so what I was thinking is each what's it called? Each group that's separate. Say there's 5 groups, 5 main guys. have a separate thread that kind of branches off of the main chat, where each group can chat within, amongst
Yeah.
themselves,
So we can do that.
so they can talk about whatever issues are going on in that moment at that time while they're trying to maneuver, progress forward in the game.
I won't have
And
them
then,
talk amongst themselves because I want other people to access the information as well. Nothing hidden. If
oh
it's
yeah,
relevant, then other people can see the thread. So in other words, my immediate
yeah,
response to that is have 6 different threads just for the different teams based on
yes,
the worlds that we will have and people grouped in from the start. And and then we can add in more based on the latecomers or whatever too. But the point
yeah,
is that, and then talking about revenants, for example. You want to talk about revenants? We notice the problem here. PKers are coming from this direction, and when we run over here, we get cornered. Okay, this is what we're gonna make a whole new thread for, right?
yeah. Well, that'll be information that's relevant, say, to one specific group. So for them to talk amongst each other, but that other people can also see. What was that? You got a fly
Yeah.
flying around you?
Last time during voice chat, I inhaled one, so don't
Oh
try that
yeah, I
again.
remember that. Yep. Okay. Well,
Archie.
yeah. So then, I mean, other groups can kind of reference that, but issues that are, happening right in that moment, just in one group, you don't want those messages of people trying to resolve whatever that issue is. You don't want those messages bulking,
Yeah, so that's what a
um,
thread does. It condenses it to one.
getting in the
If you
way.
notice, it says 3
Yeah.
messages in there now, and anything that is replied to there does not come underneath it. You see?
Yeah.
You just click that to open up
Yep.
a
You have
whole
to
new
click
window
on.
with another 100
Okay.
messages if you need to.
Okay. And then especially when you're talking, if you have, say, those 5 other, group leaders or whatever, them kind of having the ability to talk with you, so you're talking with them, then they can have their kind of their thread open underneath, where anyone in their group that has a question, but you don't want them all speaking out, of course. If they're reading and kind of paying attention to that thread, then they can speak up for the people in their group and bring up an issue to you specifically, if it's, of importance or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm
Yeah.
not really. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
All
understand.
right. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Apologies.
good. You just gave me an idea, and so it's good.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we will have dedicated thread groups upon start for each
Yep.
team lead and members. And we will also have a leadership chat for myself and the other team leads.
Yeah. Where everyone can see, but only you and, say, the team leaders can type and talk, um, and be unmuted or whatever.
Why would you want everyone to see it though?
Well, because everyone's a part of it in a way. So that, see, I'm picturing, how majority of people are going to be muted while you're kind of talking and going over things, but you said you don't want people all talking over each other and whatnot. That would kind of get rid of that possibly being an issue. So I don't know. The way I'm seeing it is kind of, you have that main chat channel, that main where everyone can hear you. Everyone's kind of listening to what you're doing, or listening to what the information that you're trying to get out there with what's going on. And then within that, there's multiple like 5 threads for each group, like I was saying before. And then, but in that main chat, it's just you talking with the group leaders, but everyone else is a part of it, just muted off, just they can't really type and whatnot. So it's like kind of compartmentalized. I don't know. It's Forget it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Yeah.
The problem, I think there is a problem with that, is that
Okay.
I can't edit the specific thread permissions, so if I made it viewable, and this is only
Yeah.
me hypothetically speaking based off the information I can see, I can't edit the
Yeah.
specific thread to enable permissions for people not to be able to talk in it, so
Oh, okay.
everybody should be able to talk into it. Um, but I can enable
Okay.
permissions for people to use threads inside of the whole channel. So either the
Okay.
leadership chat remains private and then they share information from there, which would literally be a group chat, for example, like
Yeah.
9 people max or 10 or whatever, or
Okay.
we do it open and everybody decides not to fucking talk inside of that thread.
Okay. Yeah, that would have to be it, I guess. Everyone just isn't talking, and if they have a question or something that they need to bring up, then bring it up in their group thread, where then
Yeah.
you know, the leader who you're talking to can then, if it's relevant, see that and bring
Either
it up to
that
you in the
or the
main
overall
chat.
chat, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Good.
But if they're asking questions that have probably been answered, they should probably just ask their leader. You
Well,
know?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it'll be up to that leader then
And then that
whether or
leader
not
will
it's
then put
brought
it
up in the
into the
main
main
chat.
chat if it's worthwhile for everybody to
Yeah.
see.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I'll write down worthwhile questions will be determined based on sharing with the leader.
Oh, you're writing this down?
Yeah. Team leader.
Okay.
And then push to the general deadman chat if worthwhile for everyone to see.
We could ask. Let me see if Barry's online.
No, he's busy.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
He would be the person to ask about how to set that up and all that.
I don't think it takes much, considering what I already
No?
know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He might have some idea of a better way to do it or something. I don't know. He
Maybe.
seemed pretty knowledgeable.
So that's a good question though on the theme of team chats and
Okay.
organizational structure. This is a
Yep.
good thing to know how we'll manage it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for that.
I feel like it. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I feel like it would very easily become extremely confusing, and that's going to take away from
Right. We need to be
just the
organized.
organization overall. Yeah, yep. And if every time that happens it takes a couple minutes, then, that could be, 40 minutes wasted on just trying to figure out,
Just trying to scroll
who's
the
saying
chat,
what.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
Good
Okay,
thinking.
cool.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you.
What else would we like to go over?
I don't know. That's
Raven?
all I really have for now. Raven's falling asleep.
Ah, she's packing.
Oh,
She's
I'm
busy.
here.
Oh.
What else would you like to know?
She just woke up, man. Give her a minute.
I gotta practice. Is what I gotta do. I gotta work. I
Yeah.
gotta work on getting ready. That's what I need to do. Not
Yeah, I
really
do too.
questions, but
What would you say you need to work on the most?
I have never done LMS, and
Me either.
it just yeah, that's probably the one thing. I'm just trying to. I have some other things I've been trying to get to finish levels for construction. I did my smithing,
Okay.
so it's just for quests. I need all
Okay.
these things. So I was trying to get that done before I started doing the practicing, but
Yep.
uh, but it's going to take me. I hate construction. It's taking so long. I'm like ready to give up. Oh,
So
so I
it's my understanding you're only going
doing
to be
some of that.
playing for like a weekend, right?
Well, that the first weekend, and then the next week I'll be in Anaheim. So I'm hoping to have time outside of the workday to play, but I don't really know because they keep saying, "Oh, could you do this?" Or you do that, or maybe let's have an event on Tuesday evening. I'm like,
Oh
no, I
yeah,
don't want
we were talking about healthy boundaries, weren't we?
Yeah,
exactly.
we were.
I'm
So,
like,
so
I'm like,
what days do you
no.
have available? Is my question. Friday's the start date on the 19th of July.
So so Friday when I get back, Saturday, Sunday,
All right, then you're good.
um,
Yeah. If
and
you,
then
yeah.
except that yesterday I found out I thought I was traveling Monday. Oh no, they made the hotel for me for Sunday night, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go Sunday. I want to. My plane is on Monday. So, but now I have to check with the people who are handling the hotel. It's like, do you want me there Sunday?
Got
Then
it. I
if
mean,
my
are you going to be
no.
able to play after those 3 days?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. At the end of the events, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday finishes at 1, and then I'm on a plane back.
And that's when you start. Okay.
That and then yeah. So
What about the following
yeah,
week, though? That's my question.
that's oh sorry, that's what I'm saying. The following week, I'll be uh, it'll be. I was planning to have all day Sunday to play, but now it looks like I might have to fly on Sunday. I don't know. I'll figure that out tomorrow. And then during that week, we've got events that go from 8 to 4, something like that. And then I was planning on having my free time after that. Well, now they're saying maybe I might have there might be things. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if? And I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
no.
Got it.
Wouldn't it be
So,
nice if we had some free time?
so you should probably
Yeah,
try and
right.
preserve your Sunday if you can. I don't know what they'll do, but still technically it's possible. For you to make your money back if you're gonna use a strategy, pay me and make more money. It depends on how many hours you play, but yeah, I mean, if you were to play for those days, you shouldn't have a problem. The first day and the
Mhm.
second day.
Or delay, like 12 hours or something like that. I can't remember. What time does it actually start?
What?
What's the
I
what's
don't.
the
I don't know.
start
We
time?
don't know.
Oh,
There's no
okay. We
news on
don't
it.
know. Okay.
We just know the dates that
Hmm.
it starts and ends. That's it. No actual times for boss breaches or whatever other important things, except for they might be modeling the previous times from last year but adding an extra one. So we don't know
Okay.
the
I
start time.
I thought we would know what the start time was. Good. Well,
No,
that's going to
they've
be
only
very
given
important
us a
for
first
information.
look. That's it.
Hmm.
They haven't given us an everything you need to know post.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hopeful then. Although I expect it'll be earlier than when especially being on the West Coast. Everything happens before we're even awake sometimes.
Yeah. Just try and preserve your time as much as you can on those first 3 days because those are the most important. Um,
Right.
You are 4 hours ahead, correct? Of the East Coast time?
3
behind. Behind.
3? Okay.
or 3 behind.
Behind.
3
Yeah,
behind. Yeah.
behind, ahead, same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That was a good example, though.
Oop.
All right. So I'll pause the recording here unless we think of something else.
You could always resume it if we think of something. Okay, go ahead.
We are recording. So you're talking about potentially doing a skilling method, right? And without getting into super specifics, let's just say you're trying to talk about doing stars. You're trying to talk about making
Yeah.
bolts. You're trying to talk about getting gems, for example. It's DMM. If you want to skill, you can skill, but it's still skilling at the end of the day. It's not the best money maker. The only reason why it works is because there's a multiplier on some of the skills: mining, woodcutting, farming, and fishing, based on the sigil of enhanced harvest, which gives you 3 times the amount, and there's also a 2 times, but we're going for the 3 times. If you want to do that, it would be best to have a 3 times, right? So this is good if your account is passively making money, not getting involved with PKers, because once again, its priority is to skill. But the point of Deadman mode, especially now in a beginner sense, is to do PVM related activities, because you get unique drops on the Deadman drop table and higher rates for those drops. Like, they made it PVM based. PKing is more of like the side gig. You don't even get points for it, but it's open world PvP. Right? It's like Leagues 2.0, PVM based, open world PvP. The people who are going to be having a lot of fun are the people who are doing PVM and open world PvP. Now, if you're just doing skilling, maybe that's your gig. Maybe you have a lot of fun doing that. But stopping to mine a star is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that on a serious note.
Everything could potentially be dangerous. And so if your priority is to be a skiller, it makes sense to be more remote about it, to be more reclusive about it. And because you don't have to bank, you can do a strategy where you would basically not have to deal with as many people in competition and make the money that way. But remember, you're only going to make the level cap based on your level. You're only going to make as fast as your level produces, and skilling is probably a gathering thing, if not a production thing. And you will have a measurable amount that you could make versus RNG. You understand? So you're always going to make more with the RNG side because the RNG drop rates are multiplied. You may still get one sigil roll every 500 chances at a log, for example, which will give you a 50% chance to get a sigil. So it's 1 in, 1 in 1,000 that you'll get a sigil. 1 in 1,000 logs, for example. But it's not going to be as good as a drop table where you're doing combat. And so you can do that. It's just you're going to be capped in your potential. And so which means if you're going to cap your potential, then the output or the input that you make on those accounts should be minimized too. So that the risk or the sizable investment is reduced for the maximum output, right? And so if you're thinking of all these things, let's make bolts. It's not a bad idea. You can make bolts. But the reality is, as more time progresses, gems are going to be significantly decreased in value because they're going to flood into the game. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know exactly why, but there were a lot. I could buy 13,000 emeralds, no problem, and they were pretty cheap. And then I started crafting them down and making emerald bolts E, and not many people were buying those anymore. And so, I don't know, but some aspects about skilling are going to be viable and some are not. So you have to kind of consider, yes, people will want diamond bolts, and they will be more in high demand for ruby bolts. But then again, ruby bolts now are no longer able to be used on the boss breaches. They don't have the same effect. So once again, you need to do the research for some things that they've made changes on. Read all the news posts and stuff, and then you'll know what can or can't work. But remember, skilling is always going to be capped versus RNG.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, you're going to have to worry about dealing with other players.
It's not the worst
no
thing.
matter whether you're... No.
Like especially if you built your account to be able to counter them. You can actually get kills out of it. It would be fun. You're prepared. You have a full inventory of food. You're mining the same fucking rock, which you don't need any inventory spaces, for example. It all goes to your bank, and all you have to do is overturn it. The only difference is you'll probably have skilling sigils, and they'll have combat sigils, which means they have the upper hand. So depending on your account build and your ability to play the game as a PKer, you could overturn it.
Okay. Well, and that's why I would focus on, escaping for the most part, of course, and choosing the locations that I'm using to uh, to get materials and whatnot, or mine rocks, cut trees, whatever. You want to pick a good location where you would have an easy exit, if possible, whatnot. But I mean, basically, like the purpose of multiple of those accounts would be to just stack up a bunch of materials, and then you're going to die at some point. So you just want to basically, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, you just want to store as much as you can as quickly as you can, and be able to transfer it or sell it. So then you can use that on your you can then use that on your say your main account or whatever.
Yep.
Correct? Okay.
Like I said, there is a possibility to have an account for processing, but you probably don't want to
Yeah.
do that on the same
Yep.
account as your gathering if you were to skill.
Okay.
So it'd be
But
weird.
yeah, I mean, if
Depending on how many accounts you have, you'll have one account that's capable of fletching, one account that's
yeah,
capable of crafting. I mean, it's the same account likely. Crafting, fletching, all the things like herb lore, all the things that are the middle section, and then the gathering is all the right side of the skill menu. You'll probably have all accounts dedicated to that if you wanted to skill. That's if you wanted to skill. It'd be very individuated though, and you would probably need significantly less processors than gatherers. Plus, some things are already automatically processed. Like, for example, the sigil of woodcraft. You will cut a tree, and so long as you have a tree that is able to make those logs into planks, those logs will automatically turn into planks based on that sigil if you have gold in your inventory to pay the sawmill, for example. So you spend the amount based on how much it is to make that specific type of plank from your inventory, and it will get sent to your bank if you have the sigil of remote storage or storage. So that'll be sent to your bank. And then if you have a 3 times multiplier, which is enhanced harvest, you can make planks with one click, right? But you have to meet the requirements. Have money in your inventory and cut the right tree. And the other sigils will do the work for you. So there's a lot of cool strategies like that, Are we here? Am I broken?
hello. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Hello? Okay, is that better? Could you hear me at all or no?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me just a minute ago?
Not when I said so there's a lot of cool strategies like that, no.
Okay, all right. So what I was saying was, yeah, and there are basically endless strategies,
No, there's an
and
end.
I
There's an
mean,
end.
oh yeah, of course, but there's so many.
The point is to take advantage of the sigils. You have to research the
Yeah,
sigils and be like, how can I combine these to come up with some killer idea that nobody's ever thought of?
yeah,
And other people
but
have
there's
obviously thought
still,
about the ones I've just said, you know?
oh, of course, everybody's thought of basically everything. I mean,
You basically have to think of
but
something so
that's gonna
unique.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna kind of come with trial and error too, though, in a way. That's why it would be beneficial to have more alt accounts than you may need, because with a couple of them, you may think you have a great plan, a great
Right.
idea on
But it
what to
doesn't make
do,
as
what,
much money based off of an update, for example. Yeah. You're totally right.
yeah, it doesn't work out the way that you planned that it would work out, so then you have to kind of steer that alt account in a different direction to try to, recover some of, that time lost, or to try to just, start accumulating more. But I mean, and we'll figure that out kind of as we progress through DMM mode. So certain things will become apparent that it's not working out. say with mining runite or whatever. Say you didn't tell me that would be um, kind of sketchy or stupid idea, then I would have find that out on my own. Then I'd have to go and start doing something else. But
Yeah, you can experiment with it. By all means, I just have last year's
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
I mean, like literally watching Solo Mission's videos. He's the one
yeah.
who was in the Jad Runite place, and he had teams coming out. It was multi, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. He had teams coming after him for that.
Yeah, and what he tried to do was use the
Wow.
sigil of the porcupine and recoils and kill them off that way.
How'd that work for him?
I think he got one of them
Okay.
out of like 3.
All right. That's something.
Still died though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So skilling's an interesting one. You just have to make the reward great enough for the investment and lower the investment.
Yeah. Okay.
Just simply put, because you can't raise the return rates beyond what your level is capable of. And the value of the items and which is needed in demand. Therefore, economics. Supply and
Yeah.
demand.
And what's easier to gather is, of course, going to be worth a lot less. So you do kind of want to, yeah. No, I mean, I guess it's a good thing if it's more PVM based. Oh shit. If it's more PVM based this time, they're kind of pushing that on people. Then not only are there going to be all the PvP people, but you're going to have all the PVMers too. So I feel like that'd leave more of
Well, it was like that last
an
year.
opening. Well, PVM wasn't as prevalent last year, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was? Okay, I thought that was something where they're really pushing it on this year more so than the other years.
Well, they are.
Okay. All right. So, well, I mean, either way, it kind
This
of
year
gives
is like
those
an
people more
improved version of
incentive.
last year. Just so you know.
Okay.
But before that,
Okay.
they didn't have boss breaches. Before that, they weren't using a point system. Now they're using a point system. The point system says
Yeah.
kill these bosses this many times and you get maximum points for each boss. And the PVM is mostly bosses. I don't know about other stuff. Like, you can hit high-level monsters and get special drops too, but it's not the same as the bosses that they try and get you to target.
Okay. But either way, that kind of with more people PVMing and PvPing, then it leaves the door open for people to um like get resources and materials and skill rather than PVM or PVK
Believe it or
or
not,
PK. Yeah.
I would
PV.
believe there's an
P.
overwhelming number of people who actually prefer skilling to PVM, and like the skilling community
P
is probably pretty large.
ratio you think would
I don't know.
I was thinking
I'm
it'd
just
be
saying. I'm just saying.
a lot less. Yeah.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of them.
Okay. From what you were saying before, I was thinking like
And it's just a
large
guess.
majority of people were going to be
Yeah, they
PVMing and
will be.
PvP.
The people who actually want to
Okay.
play the game. The people who are not
Okay.
doing everything for a specific motivation, which is probably money. The people who are skilling.
Yeah.
What are they gonna fucking do? Make a maxed account as a skiller? Like, how does that help them enjoy the game? Unless they actually love that shit, then why are you skilling? You know?
Well, money. Yeah. But
To me, it's hard to comprehend. This is a game mode that includes open world PvP, and you're just gonna skill the whole time.
well, yeah. If the point is, if your goal is to make money,
If it's to make money, then yes. But if they're actually
yeah,
trying to play the game to raise in brackets, why are you stopping to skill?
then it wouldn't make sense.
They could
Yeah.
be doing
Okay.
PVM. So the
Yep.
skillers are going to be on the lowest bracket, so they have the least harm, and there will be PKers there. PKers that deal
Okay.
60 plus damage in one hit, just so you know,
Yeah.
with the Statius Warhammer. So
Okay.
you have to be careful. But those are
Yeah.
those are the try hard
Of
people
course.
who raise their strength level to 94 plus, and have to go through some adverse method to be able to do so. So it'll be a little while before they start peaking out.
Yeah. That's on the extreme end a little bit. I'm sure we'll see them though, for sure.
But they can make 600,000 experience an hour, so don't be surprised if they start showing up within the first week
Okay.
in the Warriors Guild, which is a safe zone.
Yeah. Okay.
It's cool how I know that metric.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't planning on doing it. I just saw somebody balancing a barrel on their head, and it's like, oh, it's 60k an hour. And I'm like, okay, 10x that. Easy. All you need are energy
That's
potions.
crazy. Really?
Yeah, and 130 melee and strength levels combined.
Okay.
So yeah, give that some thought.
I mean, you could. Never mind. I'll bring.
All right,
I
so
forgot.
that is the end of our session for today. We actually had a lot more time off camera than what you've seen, but I was able to capture some of the main core themes of what it is that we did talk about, which is, in particular, team chats and organizational structure concerning communications, a really huge problem that we are happy to resolve early on. And doing that through dedicating groups to team leads, starting threads, so we can keep that separate from the main chat, and also having a leadership chat for myself and the other people that are involved as leaders in organizing all of this, and then taking that and segmenting it into what goes through those leaders then goes to the main chat for everybody to know after it gets pushed through some sort of filtration system. Is it worthwhile? Have people already asked this, for example? And then what we can also do, or what we also discussed, is, you know, if my time schedule is challenging concerning getting started later, then how can I team up with other people in being able to organize all that? Am I going to be able to start late with another group, or do I have to follow instructions? How can I do that if I'm on my own and not starting with the initial group, but at a later time? We answered that. And then also, another thing we talked about was the potential for using skilling as a methodology for, you know, being able to make some money and play the game mode as a skiller. And so those were a few of the core main topics that we discussed. Was there anything else on camera that you recall, Risk, that we did discuss that was worthwhile to share?
Nothing that in the near future is going to be brought up in a much more,
Okay.
specific way. So no. Yep.
So
I
those
think
are
we're
the
good.
three main topics then. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yep.
We'll see you next time with more people. Looking forward to it.